Welcome to All Things Possible TV. I'm Kris Barney and I'm excited to have you with us today. We also have a guest, Heather Larson, and she is phenomenal. I can't wait to share her with you today because she is someone that works in my business all the time and I love having her be a part of it. But before we jump into all of that, I want to invite you to go to my website at www.allthingspossible.biz. You can see it right there on the screen, allthingspossible.biz, and get my 7 traits. There are a video series of 7 videos that will give you the 7 traits, as well as if you go to the Contact Us button, you can email me and get your free strategy session. So make sure you take advantage of that. Get your free strategy session as well as take the opportunity to get the 7 traits. So without any further ado, we want to jump in. Heather, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me
on this show. It's really funny because Heather is my assistant and she gets to view all of these and she gets to go through things. And I said, hey, you're going to be on my show. And she's like, great. So
excited. I get to be on the other end of the camera.
Which is really fun.
Yeah.
And I absolutely adore her. So I want to share with you things that she does and her business. And I'm going to let her totally introduce that and tell you about herself and her business because I really feel that she does so many things for me, but she has so many things that she does for others too that I don't even get involved with. So Heather, why don't you tell us your business and kind of what you do and those things.
Okay, perfect. First of all, my business is called Ease Your Mind Business Solutions. It's kind of a long name, but it explains basically what I do. I am a virtual assistant, a virtual office manager. I have various aspects of my business that I like to focus on. With Kris, for example, I help with emails, going out to her clients. I help with managing her website, with setting up products, with all aspects of running a business in the office. So I like to help with all of that kind of thing. I learn new things every day. I just learned how to do Jing videos, which was exciting. So I can do little instructionals for affiliates. I've set up affiliate programs. I've set up several different things. One of the major programs that I work with a lot of my clients is called Infusionsoft. It's a customer management and email marketing software that a lot of people don't know how to use. It's aimed right at small businesses.
It is aimed at small businesses, but it also is very technical. Like it is one of those you have to, and I can do things on it, but I choose not to because that's not my expertise. I would spend a lot more time writing content or doing something and letting you be the expert on my Infusionsoft and being able to handle that. So
right. And it's a program that's it's very involved. Once you learn the language, once you learn how to use it, it's quite user friendly, but it's a lot of stuff to take on.
Yeah,
I've been working
a lot of capabilities.
Yeah, I've been working with Infusionsoft for close to 5 years now, and so I kind of speak the language, and I've learned that one thing that I've learned is nobody's an expert on all aspects of it, but once you learn how to manage it, you can figure things out pretty quickly. So
well, and the thing that I love is you always say I'm a quick learner, and she's a quick study, and if you don't know it, she knows who to call. She's been there for five years. She has access into the right people if there is something that we want to add to or do. Even with our Visa and MasterCard and who we're going to go with, and I don't even remember the right naming for that, but
a merchant account.
Yeah, a merchant account. Yeah, see, she knows. I don't have to. But yeah, I said, what are some of the merchant accounts? She had a list. Said, okay, let's see who they are and what we can do. It was perfect. I didn't have to research. I didn't have to do any of it. And you're very good at that. And one of the things that I love is that I can send her an email and it can say, okay, send out this, and maybe it's a program that I'm running, or an event that I have coming up and make it say, oh, we want you to be there, blah, 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 blah. And I literally type blah, blah, blah and say, let me know when it's ready. And it needs to be out by today at 2 and it's, noon. It's amazing that she can just write. She's done enough work with me to see it sounds like it's me. She's done enough work and has been able to take on that and own that branding and know, that tender touch that I might want, or a little bit feminine flair if we're sending it to just women,
Right.
to be able to handle that. And she also knows on a couple of my programs, you have to be pretty firm and be like, get your dang homework done and get it into me. And so she has the capability of being like, this is what we want on this. And I love that, because I just have to be like, okay, so tell them to get their act together and get it back. Like, let's get this done.
Right.
And it's handled. And for a lot of people, it's not. You have to babysit your VA. And that, I never have to babysit Heather. I'd be like, she'll get up early, she'll stay up late. Even you came back off vacation last night, and this morning my newsletter was out, and just like clockwork. So you have a lot of capability of the consistency and the follow through that some people lack when they do their own business. So in the stuff that we've done together, we've done anything from email campaigns on Infusionsoft to events. I mean, she's come and checked clients in and done that whole back end. What are some of the other things that you do?
Well, I like to manage websites. Even though I myself don't build them, I have access to people who do. But I will personally manage them, especially WordPress. I'm more familiar with WordPress than other
Right.
builders, and then I also, like you said, I run campaigns. I handle incoming emails for people. At the moment, I have various different kinds of clients, so it just kind of depends on what their business is. I have anything from coaches to salespeople to realtors. So it just kind of depends on that. And like you said, there is a language with each business. Each business
Really
has
is.
their own language. And so at the beginning, I will encourage you to write your own content on emails, but I'm very good at making them pretty and making them functional and editing language if it isn't sounding right and if people won't hear it right. But there is a language to each business, so it is important to learn that language, and it will take a little bit of time, but I've learned as long as we're working consistently, the longest it takes is about 3 months.
Right.
And then, as long as I know what your message wants to say, I usually am familiar enough with your language to
Continue that.
complete
Right.
it, or however you want to say. Or
Well, and
tweak
there's
it.
that consistency. Like, my stuff always sounds like my stuff.
Right.
It doesn't sound like, oh, that sounds a little bit like this other client that she has that I know. It's always my stuff, and it sounds like me. And when we go back and forth, the thing I love the most is that when you can bounce it off two people, it's easy to go, oh, I know what you were trying to say,
Right.
but you were thinking it when you were typing it really fast over to me, and so I just clarified or took out some of the duplication. Because sometimes we get in a big hurry, at least I do. Maybe everybody else has lots of time to do this stuff.
Everyone gets in a big
But you get in a hurry and you're thinking what you want to say and you're typing it out, and we don't go back through and proofread and really try to see if we follow the content that we're typing
Right.
in or if it makes sense. And so having that extra second set of eyes, I love having, because I know that before it hits out there, two of us have looked at it.
Yeah.
And there's very rare chance for it to go out with, some typos or some things that don't really complete the idea or the concept that we're going after. And so I do love that. That's one of the things the VA, that you have a second person to really back you up and to be able to help you with that.
Right.
And because you've specialized kind of in the field where I was for a long time, she's very good at language, and like, this really is popular right now. This really is something that's grabbing attention and is working. And the whole concept of, client directed versus, all about you, those kind of things are important to have someone that can really look over your stuff and be involved with it. How did you get started in this?
Well, it is a really fun story, actually. I got started with a company where I wasn't working for myself, but I was working for this amazing company that just saw what I needed, and we grew together. And I have decided, my husband and I, to become foster parents. We've, had to go several different options to build our family. It's not done the conventional way in our family, so we had to expand, and we decided when we decided to expand, we decided to go the route of being foster parents. When we got our first foster child, I realized that I needed to be home more with them, and the company that I was working for at the time needed me at the office more, and so we just needed to part and go our separate ways, and took a leap of faith and decided, I'd been thinking for a long time about working for myself, but it's scary.
It can be very scary.
So I just did. I just took this leap of faith. My husband and I felt good about it. And I started my company. I decided that I was going to be a virtual assistant, and I found some people that knew some people and had known me and my work ethic and my capabilities, and so they started promoting me, and I honestly have never even...
There was 3 of us that snatched her up, and the 3 of us know
Within a
each other,
month.
and then we all
Yeah.
zip, don't tell anyone. So you guys are really lucky that I am sharing Heather with you, because we're to the point where no matter what we want to do, she's going to grow anyway, and she's that phenomenal that everyone's going to know about her. And so it was like, okay, at first, don't you tell anyone. And we'd be like amongst ourselves being like, did you tell anyone, because we want her for us? And so it was really quite comical, because the 3 of us, almost the same week, all converged from different people had told us you, and then we just like grabbed on, and of course all 3 of us are still with you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's been great, a fun ride. It's been crazy that we all just converged and said, okay, let's do it. And it's been good, because there's sometimes that I'm busier, then they're busier, different weeks, and it kind of works out with your schedule and your team that you're putting together.
Yes.
You're getting phenomenal team members. And one of the big things that when I was told, go get a VA, get a VA, get a VA, and I was like, I'm not making enough money to get a VA, and I don't have enough hours for this VA. And I finally just said, okay, fine, I'm going to get a VA. And I did get a VA, and it was more expensive, and it wasn't a good fit. And she was phenomenal, but there were some things that just didn't really mesh. And we, like, oh, let's jump into this and go this way, and then let's jump into this and go this way. And I just felt like we were so scattered. And I paid for multiple things to be done that I'm not even with right now. And so it really wasn't a good fit. And I stepped back and said, I'm better off doing it myself. And I'm kind of a control freak. So I don't like to hand things over and be like, okay, you can have this. It's hard to let somebody else do it if they might not do it like you want it done. And so that was a transition for me. When I got to the point where I heard about Heather, and I had a really good idea who she was, I was like, I'm so on it. I'm so doing this. Like, I'm ready. And when you find the right person and the right company, Ease Your Mind is exactly what this is. I send an email, and I know that my newsletter's out, my blog is up, my website has changed. I just have to do my little paper. Once I send the paper over, it's done. I don't even have to go check it. It's done. And it's up exactly when it's supposed to be. So that's awesome. The other piece that you need to know when you have a VA is that trustworthy. There's got to be a big, big trust issue of that. All of your information is now given to them, your passwords, and they have access to all this stuff. And that has been wonderful, because I've never for once felt like there was going to be a breach or a problem, or that things weren't safe.
Right.
So,
Well, and that's a huge thing. I mean, talk about leap of faith. My clients, they have to have this leap of faith, and they basically turn their company over to me. And I'm not saying that I run their company, but I have to have access to several different, parts of their company in order to help them and do what they need. And you're talking about letting go, and I get that, because I'm the same way. Oh my gosh, am I the same way?
It can be hard.
It's your baby, and you've nurtured this baby, and to hand this, it's like the first time you take your child to a babysitter. I mean, honestly, it's like, or the first time you leave your new pet with someone while you go on vacation, or it's this anxiety of, oh my gosh, this is mine, and this is my baby, and how can I let this go? And you're helping it to grow. Your
Exactly.
kids have to go to school.
Exactly.
You have to trust other people to help them along their path, and it's the same thing with a company. You have to be able to let them go, and you have to know who you're letting them go to. You don't just jump on Google and grab the first.
Right. I always say a recommendation is worth so much more than just go online and bring up whoever shows up closest to your house. Like I highly recommend Heather. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I handed over a project that we had a hiccup, and it's a pretty big hiccup in the middle of it, and you're not going to never have those hiccups. Yeah, I have those hiccups when I do it myself, so I can't expect someone else not to have a little hiccup. And we did have a little hiccup. We had a video stream we were doing, and in consecutive order, and somehow we got two of the same one and missed one. And it was immediately, everything else was cleared off her slate. It was corrected, the video was found, everything was made corrected, and then video emails and everything was sent to where stuff was corrected immediately. So you also have to have that person that when something isn't right, they're okay to be like, we totally screwed up. This happened, and it's going to happen once in a while, and I'm all over it. And she was. It was corrected that day, handled, stuff was fixed. And you have those. And you have a lot of people who are like, well, I don't know what happened. It's not my fault. And there was none of that. It wasn't. And there was more than just you. Your team was involved with this. And so it wasn't necessarily even you that made the mistake. That's what happened, is when you have a team, there's going to be things in your business that have hiccups as well as in my business have hiccups. And so even when we had a hiccup, it was immediately fixed, everything was resolved, and everything was back in order and functioning. Yeah. So even when it came down to, oh my gosh, this happened and I handed it over, I still was at ease. Hence the name of her business of like, okay, by tomorrow it's going to be cool. We can breathe now.
And it helps. I mean, honestly, it does help your clients to know that you're human and fleshy and things happen and mistakes are made, and thank you for growing with us, because we're all growing.
Well, and I have to tell you, because what we put out there is what we get back. So when you have a hard time letting go of something because somebody might screw it up, it's exactly what I got. I totally called that forth. And then my clients were just like, oh yeah, I'm listening, and they're totally not doing the program. And by the time 5 of them did not even realize that the video was repeated and had no idea, and like, oh yeah, I'm getting my homework to you. And it's like, you don't have the right recording. How can you not have this?
Busted.
And so it was kind of this accountability on all parts. I think it happened for a reason, which I always think that does. And so it wasn't so much that you had to make a mistake because your company needed to have a hiccup. It was because I needed to be able to see that, hey, stuff's going to happen, even when you hand it over with best intentions, right, and that it gets to be resolved, and how quickly it was resolved, how there wasn't the blame, there wasn't that not take accountability. It was just like, okay, we don't have it correct. It will be correct before the end of the day.
Right.
And it took hours and hours of phone calls and recovery of a video right, that had been down off the internet for right, a while. So it wasn't an easy fix.
And we're grateful for good companies that help us.
Right, and we could have re-recorded. We could have corrected it that way, but it didn't become my problem. It was handled. And that's something, when you have someone that's in the back of your business and that is constantly able to change anything and do anything back there, you want to have the peace of mind to know that they'll fix it. If there's an issue, it will be handled, and it's not going to be, oh, I don't know, and I didn't get to it, and I don't have time, and my family's more important, and I'm off the clock. That wasn't the issue. In fact, I think you were on the phone at like 11 o'clock at night, like trying to fix it.
That one went late, but we got it. We got it.
So you want a reputable company that will do that, and ease your mind is your business solution. It really is. What would you like to see? Like, what do you envision your business to be like in, let's say a year? What do you see that?
I see. Now, when you asked me, how I got started, my biggest focus was, okay, I need a company that I can run where I can also be home with my kids. My family is very important to me. They are my life. They are my world. And so...
And you have little ones.
I do. I have a 4-year-old, and we have a foster baby right now, and I have a 13-year-old, and she is adorable.
So are your other 2 kids.
They are. They are. They absolutely
They're phenomenal.
They're my life. And so, I am able to run this business where I'm able to put the focus on my family and support my family at the same time, which I never thought was going to come true. I always thought I'm going to have to work this many hours just to fund the family, just to support the family, and I'm not. So as we grow, I look forward to bringing on new team members. I'm constantly training and teaching and growing, and I look for this company within the next year to be able to help, double the clients and with their businesses, so they can be focused on their families, and they can be growing like they didn't think was possible, and then also being able to help, my team so that they can do the same thing. So that's what I'm
awesome.
looking for is
Awesome.
to help people with their families, not just from the point of raising and rearing, but to also supporting.
Well, and she has some pretty phenomenal clients, not just me, but there's
Well,
phenomenal
you're
clients.
pretty amazing.
But you've also, the company that you first worked for, and that was like, start in the garage and go to $1 million company, and that was huge for you to be able to see that massive growth in a business, and so you have that concept of starting out this small business and taking it huge, and
where it needs to be. Like you said with your, and now I'm going to forget what it's called, but your merchant service. I've learned all of that along the way, and how lucrative it is to where maybe you need to take the steps first of what to invest in and when.
Right.
Okay, well, it's not going to be that important yet, but eventually this is where you're going to want to be, and this is what you're going to want to be doing.
Right.
And so it is, and I'm not going to claim that I am the know-all, end-all,
Right.
but I've seen businesses, and like I said, I've worked now with several different types of businesses, and so it helps to know, okay, well, this really worked well for them, but this didn't work so well for this type of company, and that
Right,
kind of
you're
thing.
getting seasoned pretty good.
Yeah. It's
Pretty
fun.
good season.
I love learning.
And even like I do my TV series, obviously, that I just say, okay, so go watch the video and pull out stuff I say, pull out quotes, pull out things for my Facebook, and she manages all of that. And I don't even have to, I don't have to preview it or anything because it's phenomenal, and I don't have to even delta. It sounds just like me. It's pictures I would pick. In fact, the way that I thought was really interesting is when we first worked together, about 2 months in, and I was writing my information to send over to her for my blog and my newsletter, and I said, you know what, this week I want you to pick the pictures. I'd already gone on and picked 2 and downloaded, but I didn't put them on the page, and I was just like, I'm going to have you pick them and see if maybe that having 2 sets of eyes and get a little bit of a different flair. 2 of the 3 pictures were the 2 I picked, and that's how in sync we were after 2 months. And I was like, say no more. This is easy. Of all the pictures you can pick on all of the internet, we picked 2 of 3 were the same exact pictures I picked. So I knew that you knew exactly the direction my business was headed and my purpose and what I was about, and that's the eyes you would look at the computer with when you're doing my work. It's me, and what would be beneficial in that. And if there's ever a question, you say, hey, I want to take a look at this before I send it, and make sure it's something that you don't want me to change the wording on a couple things.
And I do that a lot more at the first.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, you want me to send this email out? Okay, look at this and make sure that I did it how you wanted it done. Because, like I said, there's a language, there's a brand, there's a lot going on there, and so there is a lot more at first. So you do have to be available to help me.
And I did. I have had her just be like, okay, so go and watch this video and take notes because I don't remember what I even say. And I'm packaging my 7 traits into a book, and I have done a video on each of the traits. Obviously, in my video series, you get those for free. And so I'm like, go listen, because I don't even know what stories I said. Because I go from inspiration and intuition, and I share stories with you that remind me of it. And it's not that I don't ever prepare or have content. I have a lot of real life experience.
Yeah.
And so something will come out that I'm like, oh, I'm not sure why I said that, but I did. And so I was just able to be like, okay, go take notes. And even reading her notes, it was as if I'd taken the notes. I mean, I can almost tell you identically what I said and be like, she's really good at this. She picked up the message that I had said and what was there, and story about this, and it was just all done. I didn't have to worry about it. It's just totally done, concise, and finished. And so I love that about Heather. She's phenomenal. And her team. There's things that her team has done that's been fantastic for me in my business, and she continues to add to her team. There will be more VAs with you, and they go through quite a rigorous process.
There's
with
a high
you.
expectation. This is this is my baby, and I need to make sure that it's well taken care of. So I stand by everything that me and my team do, and I quality check, and I do everything I can to make sure that everything is handled well. And I do, we have from starting people up, I've had clients that have come to me and said, I need help with this project. I don't need you long term, but I need help with this project. Or I need help learning this, or I need help figuring this out. How do I do that? And so, I have packages for that as well, as far as pricing goes. And, I'm here to help. I really love what I do. I really love watching people grow and watching people expand and become bigger. And, like you said, it's not your expertise. It's not something you want to focus a lot of time on. So don't. You do what you're good at, and you do your moneymaker, and let someone help you on the back end so that you can do more of your moneymaker. You can grow more, and you can, get bigger. And I'm not out to make anybody famous or anything like that, but, I just...
That's why I hired you.
Oh, crap. Okay, I'm out to make you famous if that's what you're looking for. But I'm just, I want what you want, and I want to help you grow, and I want, like I said, I'm a lot about family. And if this is what helps you and your family, then I want to help.
That's awesome. And I love that when we first got started, she said, well, I don't really like phone calls, but if I need to make phone calls, I make phone calls.
Yeah.
She's willing to do whatever you need done that is a good fit. And I love that about her, because I know I could turn over stuff and be like, this week I really need to make some phone calls. She'd be like, okay. And it would just be this happy little Heather that, handed it off to one of our people, because it's not her favorite thing, but she'd make sure it got done right. So I love that you're so willing to do whatever is needed, and that you have that self-confidence to say, I think this might be a good option too. Yeah. And why don't you look at this too? I want you to look at this, or maybe let's do this, and she has that eye for, let's look at it a little different way. So,
and if you have an idea of something that you want, I've had my clients, including Kris, say, okay, do you know how to do this? And what's my answer? Nope, but I'll learn.
I'll learn. And
I'll figure it out.
Within minutes, she's learning. And I can call her on the phone and be like, we need to change this and this and this. And while we're on the phone, she's changed it. So not only do I pay for the phone time, but she's also fixed it. So I'm not going, okay, I just paid 15 minutes for a phone call, and now she's got to go fix it. It's done while I'm on the phone. And if she's not in the middle of something else. So it's very much a good relationship. I am phenomenal, just happy with the phenomenal things that she does for me and the way that she's able to do it. So hats off to Heather.
Thank you.
Because Heather is really my right arm, and I consider her a dear friend, not just my VA, but it is fun to have this relationship to where we get to work together and we get to be a part of each other's lives. And I just can't tell you enough good about her.
Well, thank you.
So I want you to tell them your website.
My website's under construction, so I don't quite have that yet. But you can find me on Facebook. Go to Ease Your Mind. Search Ease Your Mind, and I will be on there, and you'll see my face, and that's how you'll know it's me.
Perfect. That is your
website is under construction. It's ready to come. You can also email me, heather.eym@gmail.com. That's my business email, and my website will be announced soon. I'm excited.
That's awesome. So it's fun to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us and being in on this episode, because it's awesome to get to know Heather and Ease Your Mind Business Solutions. And it's phenomenal for me to be able to share that with you. I also want to encourage you to go get your 7 traits. It's a video series that will help you in your life to have all things possible. So go to the website on the bottom of the screen, allthingspossible.biz. Again, allthingspossible.biz. And don't forget to click on that contact us and send an email to get your free strategy session. You just need to put strategy session in the subject and just put your information and say, I would like to get my free strategy session, and we'll get you scheduled. We'll get you scheduled. So have a great day. Thanks for being with us. Bye-bye.
Bye.